Hey there, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome again to my online class. In this class, we are going to learn all about simple, complex, and compound sentences. Many of you have found it so much difficult while transforming from one to another. So, in this lesson, I'm gonna show you something more special, and that is how a very difficult task can be learned easily. So let's get the ball rolling. My dear students, please look at the board. I have already written here our today's topic, which is transformation of sentence from simple to complex to compound and vice versa. If you are a student of SHC, HHC or even more level, you will be able to get some benefit from this class. But officially, I have designed this class specially for the student of class 9 and 10. Dear learners, before starting our main topic, it is very much important for you to have some knowledge about some basic things of sentences. And those basic things are verbs, finite and non-finite verbs, phrase and clause. Dear learners, now I am going to focus on verbs, finite and non-finite verbs. Please keep your eye on the board. We know, dear learners, there are two types of verbs: finite and non-finite verbs. Well, finite verbs is such a kind of verb which express a complete sense or meaning, by which we can identify tense, and finite verb will also change with the changes of tense, person and number. On the other hand, non-finite verbs doesn't express a complete sense or meaning, and it will also remain unchanged. It will remain unchanged always if the tense, person or number will change. So let me clear for you by showing some examples. Finite verbs V1. For example, we like cricket. If we find a verb in a sentence which is V1 or main verb, we can call it a finite verb. Again, V1 plus S, ES or IES. For example, she likes cricket. As I mentioned you before, the verb will change with the changes of tense, person and number. In the first example, I have shown you here the subject is we, first person and plural in number. But in this sentence, this subject is third person and singular one. That's why the very same verb is changed into likes. And for this reason, we can call it a finite verb also. Again, with auxiliary or helping verb. Verb plus ing with auxiliary or helping verb. If a verb is in ing form with the combination of any helping verb, we can also call it a finite verb. For example, she is playing cricket. She is playing cricket. Here is a be verb or a helping verb, and playing is a verb. These two verbs acts together as one part of speech, and these two verbs can be called as a finite verb. Again, V3 with auxiliary verb. If we find out a V3 verb with the combination of a helping verb, we can also call it a finite verb. For example, the was killed by me. Here we can find two verbs, was and killed, though we can see these two verbs, but these two words or two verbs acts like a single part of speech, that is finite verb. On the other hand, non-finite verb is such kind of a verb which doesn't express a complete sense or meaning. For example, V3 without auxiliary verb. For example, the printed document was displayed on the desk. The printed document was displayed on the desk. Here, this verb is in V3 form without any combination of helping verb. That's why there is no helping verb before this V3 verb, and that's why we can call it a non-finite verb. But this displayed and was is a finite verb. Again, verb plus ing without auxiliary verb. Let me show you example. Walking is a good habit. Walking is a good habit. Here, verb walk. At the end of this verb, we have added here ing without any help of auxiliary verb. That's why this verb is a non-finite verb. Again, infinitive 2 plus V1 is also can be called as a non-finite verb. For example, she likes to sing a song. Here we can find out two verbs, likes and to sing. Likes is a finite verb, as we have learned a few minutes ago, but in this case we can find out infinitive or 2 plus V1, which doesn't express a full meaning. If we remove this finite verb, the sentence doesn't express a complete meaning. She to sing a song. What kind of meaning it is? It doesn't have a complete meaning. That's why It can't be a non-finite verb. It can't be a finite verb. It is a non-finite verb. But if we remove this sentence, this verb, this finite verb, the similar examples or similar sentence can make a full sense. She likes a song. This is a correct sentence which has a complete meaning. That's why it's a finite verb. Again, having plus V3 is also a non-finite verb. For example, having done the work, he went away. Having done the work, he went away. So if we find having and letter V3, we may call this verb as is a non-finite verb. I think you can now easily identify either it is a finite or non-finite verb. Another form of finite verb may be V2. V2 is also be a finite verb. She went to school yesterday. She went to school yesterday. Here, with the change of tense, yesterday, past tense, which verb will also change is called a finite verb. V2 form is also a finite verb here, finite verb. So, now we may jump to our next discussion. Please make a note it. I'm going to discuss about our next roles. So, dear learners, now it's time to discuss about phrase and clause. Clause versus phrase. Dear learners, clause and phrase has a similarity in one sense. So, what's the similarity? The similarity is only in this case, that is those form has some words, a group of words. But what's the difference? There is a big difference between this phrase and clause. A clause has a subject and a finite verb. But phrase doesn't have any subject, that is no subject and no finite verb. That's the difference between phrase and clause. Clause has subject and verb, but phrase doesn't have any subject and verb. So now kinds of clause. We know there are three types of clauses. Number one is principal clause. Principal clause is such kind a clause which contains one subject and one finite verb, and also which stands by itself as a meaning. Let me clear to you. The clause having a subject and a finite verb and which can express a complete sense or meaning to us, we called it a principal clause. Another name of this clause is independent clause. and you may also call it as a simple sentence. This type of clause can make a sentence independently. So let me show you some examples. Okay, when I went there, I found him ill. My dear learners, please focus on the board. This sentence have two parts. One is principal clause and another is subordinate clause. So what is subordinate clause? Subordinate clause means has also a subject and a finite verb, like principal clause. But what's the difference? The difference is in the meaning. Subordinate clause cannot express a complete sense or meaning. It always depends on principal clause for the completion of meaning. Let me clear to you by showing examples. Here, when I went there, this portion of sentence doesn't express a complete sense. Why? Because you may ask, what happened next? When I went there, what happened next? Doesn't express a complete sense. That's why it is called a subordinate clause. But this part of sentence has a complete meaning and it can be a sentence independently. I found him ill. Here, I is a subject and found is a principal verb, and it expresses a complete sense or meaning. That's why it's called a principal clause. So another form is coordinate clause. My dear friends, coordinate clause, when two principal clause acts together by coordinating conjunction. For example, coordinating conjunction such as and, but, or, yet, etc. I am a teacher. My brother is a doctor. I am a teacher, my brother is a doctor. We can combine these two sentences by using coordinating conjunction. And my brother is a doctor. Now it is a coordinate clause. When two or more clauses act together by adding coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or, yet, we may call it a coordinate clause. And subordinate clause, we know most of the time subordinate clause starts with subordinating conjunctions like since, as, when, if, though, although, etc. So I think you are ready now to transform from simple, complex and compound. In our next class, we will learn about how to change from simple, complex, compound and vice versa. So that's all for today, my dear learners. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.